Welcome to Surf Dudes with Attitude, a podcast about California dreams, the not so forgotten 90s television show. I am Pete from New York City. Hello, James.
Hey there, Pete. How you doing? I am also from New York City.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
I don't know if you knew that or not.
But we are George-less this week, but that's okay because I do not think George could handle the nuance of this episode, the sensitivity that the writers and the directors and the cast members, God bless them, bestowed upon this working script, the racial sensitivity that is definitely needed to carry this along. We're back. It was a podcast about California dreams, but we're not going to be talking about anything music related this week, unfortunately.
We're going to be talking about something totally different.
We're talking about some heavy subject matter coming from Peter Angel Productions, straight to your living rooms at about 10:30 a.m. on a Saturday morning, sometime in November of 1994. So this was something. How do we feel about this, James? It's good to be back. Good to see you again.
It is good to see you too. I feel much better in this setting than in that room on that bed with my dog in the background. So I'm super stoked that this was the episode that we come back to the normal reality on.
Yes.
This one was heavy.
Mm-hmm. That might have seemed, it might have been a little too Deliverance had you watched this episode in rural flyover America.
Yeah. You know, I gotta. Well, we'll get into it. I have so many thoughts on this
We're
one.
We're gonna have to get into it.
Yeah,
you just reminded me how much stuff I have to cut out from the last episode about your crop circle talk. So I had completely forgotten because I think it's been 2 weeks since I've seen you, and I'm like, oh God! Like I stupidly asked James, James, real quick, what do you think about crop circles? And then I'm too much of a nice guy to tell him to shut up, and he's so eloquent when he's speaking that it breezed by.
Very, very little of what I do is quick, especially when explaining stuff. That's not necessarily my forte.
It's great for this show because this is a dense episode that's greatly going to affect us as Anglo-American European men. But
yes.
We're going to do our best. And thank you. If anybody is new to the show, we dissect every episode of California Dreams from the TNBC lineup from the 90s. Usually there's a band component. James and I are both musicians, but these later seasons, it's getting squandered.
They're really
a little
branching away from that. Yeah.
Well, there's these important social issues that the gang has to tackle, and this is going to be one of them. Would you categorize this as a very special episode?
Yes. And fortunately, we also have the inside of my wife, Courtney. She watched it with me just by chance. She was on the couch. And
the last one she just happened to watch was also one of these.
Yeah. She just has a lot of thoughts being a black woman. But I think one of the funniest things was she was stepping away as the episode was starting. And it was just like that first lull when he realizes what his history is. Again, we'll save it for going into it. And she's like, oh no, not the life lesson episode.
Yes. I mean, she saw it coming a kilometer away.
Yeah, we all did. It even had one of your favorite things, a dream sequence. That was,
dude, it's in my
so
notes.
cringe.
I saw it coming too. And I was like, there's gonna be a fucking dream in this.
And I knew exactly what it was gonna be.
But did you?
I did.
Because we're going to talk. Did you like the specifics of that dream episode?
Both Courtney and I knew exactly what was going to happen.
Wow. There. Okay. Well, I'm excited to get into it. We're going to jump right in. If anybody has any questions, any other life lessons they want to show us, it's surfdudeswithattitude@gmail.com. Please like and subscribe on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. That would really help us out. And then just, write us a review, refer this to a friend. You don't have to raw dog a 6-hour flight. You can listen to us. Okay. So that's what we're giving to the world for free.
And it's debatably worse. So
you want to walk right out. Anyway, let's get into it.
This door flies off,
Va 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 boom. I
Va
don't
va
know.
va 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 voom. Except I liked his augmentation in this one. I don't remember it, but it was very Italian, and I loved it.
Okay. All right. Well, here we go. Falling down the family tree.
Yep.
So this episode came out November 26, 1994. The 11th episode of the third season. We got through, I don't know, how many minutes of this have we got through? 5.5 minutes. We have not made one 311 joke. That has to be a record, James.
Well,
311.
Last week I was in Nebraska, so I'm sure if that was a time to reference 311,
we did threaten this, and we did say we would talk about 311 and Nick Hexum and the gang, of course. So I'm glad you're back.
This is hilarious. This is hilarious. Shout out to my buddy Evan Anderson. His uncle is S.A. Martinez, the rapper in 311.
Wow.
Yeah.
I actually know who that is.
Yeah.
I think I've told this on the podcast before, but maybe it was to Zach. But like, I was so lonely during the pandemic that I watched every single 311 documentary that was out there. And
there's a lot.
My friend James, there's a lot. There's 3 official ones, and then every single tour diary they do is at least an hour long.
For sure. Yeah.
And it takes up about 4 shows per tour, and they always have something like 30 dates on a tour. It's hours. It was my morning. It was my Monday routine. I would watch a 311 hour-long tour blog, and I would eat my peanut butter and jelly because I thought the world was ending. And this went on for a long time, and I gained a lot of weight. And I realized I don't like 311, and I don't know what S.A. Martinez does in the band. I just know that props to them for sticking around so long and never having a lineup change. Like, holy shit. That's all
Dude,
I can say.
They're like alt-rock Fish.
They have such a huge following,
It's
and
ridiculous.
Nobody wants to admit how bad they
ridiculous.
are. I respect that. I want that for our following.
Well, again, it's alt-rock Fish, dude. The people who love it, and it's crazy.
They're just pot committed. It's sunken cost fallacy. They have been with them for like 35 years. They're not going anywhere now. So, do you think 311 has ever? Do you think 311 has ever seen this episode, and that maybe inspired their like Afro-Cuban kind of sound?
I don't think so.
The black and white getting okay.
I don't think so at all, because this episode, though it shoots for the moon, it only lands among the stars. You know what I mean?
Swing and a miss right up there. This episode is called Family Tree, and as we said last week, it's going to deal with a lot of racial overt tones, I guess would be the name, not even undertones.
Yeah.
Like we said, this is a Thanksgiving episode. This came out the 26th of November. So like, this is about family. This is about finding your roots and your heritage. And we're going to start in the classroom. And we immediately see Mark being Mark, not really having a character this season. And he is
straight serial killer vibes. Yeah.
Yes. He's kind of infatuated, titillated by this girl named Judy in class, and he writes her some lyrics, and that is the closest we get to any kind of band element outside of Jake thumbing a guitar at one point of the episode. He recites these lyrics to Sly. Sly loves them, and then he realizes it's for someone else. I don't get the joke there. They're very emo, and then he goes and Sly tries it on the girl, right?
Yeah, I thought that was weird. I did like the bit where Sly was like, "I love you." I thought that was cute.
This is a low bar this week, so I'm going to let that go.
We're taking them wherever we can get them. But it's like pretty good foreshadowing, because this is kind of like a subplot, a really dumb, really out of touch subplot.
This is bizarre. This is like Sly is on the back burner this week, and they do not know what to do with his character, and even less with Mark. They never know what to do with Mark, but at least Sly usually like kind of like he chooses the scenery, and he kind of takes center stage a lot of the time. But this is a Tony centric episode.
It really is.
And ergo, Tony's black, right? We have noticed that Tony's an African American.
Tony's black, and there's only one other black person in the class that I can see in a later. It's not even in the first scene.
Oh,
in a later scene. She's in the
is
front.
this? Are you saying this is like a Guess Who game? There's only one.
What I'm saying is that there isn't much equal representation. We have
No,
Lorena. We don't have much diversity in this cast, and honestly, it's a stunning lack of diversity for a high school in California.
that's okay. That's true. And if this wasn't about lineage and heritage, all of these things would. I think even on a normal episode, they would still go with these racial stereotypes. This show has made no qualms about that, but this is like turn up to 11 this week.
Yeah. Yeah, the teacher introduces a class project. Everyone is going to be responsible for researching their family's history.
They have 1
And
week to do it, I think.
I didn't understand exactly why Tony was so gung ho about it from the moment that she started talking, but I guess it just is to set it up as an episode about him.
Do you
Because
know
like
who
he's
this
taken.
do you know who this teacher is?
I've never seen this teacher before in my life.
I beg to differ. I think you have. If you saw the Zack Attack episode of Saved by the Bell where they become a band, this is the evil manager, Mindy.
Whoa. That's
Yes,
one degree of Kevin Bacon. Oh my
that's
God.
true. We don't, and this is one of two Saved by the Bell references basically in this episode where Lorena says she's related to Mario Lopez, which would make this not in the same universe as Saved by the Bell. So we're going to talk about that too. Yeah, the teacher says we don't know the teacher's name. Do they give her a name?
I don't think so.
Is it just teacher? Okay, it's Judy, Miss Ross, I
There you
guess.
go.
Okay, so maybe they said her name. We don't know her name, and maybe they say it in Saved by the Bell. But if George was here, we would put him on this fucking like Easter egg hunt to find this out. So to be continued on that. So we don't know how long these students have to do this presentation. I can't tell throughout this episode. This episode kind of goes back and forth between the classroom and the hallway multiple times.
Yeah.
And we don't know how many days have elapsed because like the next scene we see is at Sharkey's and everybody has a ton of research materials. And they said, we've been working at this for 6 hours. So that means they went home during the day or after, or is this nighttime? Because it
No,
definitely
they
looks like
went to the library. They got it assigned, and then they went to the library.
there's
This is
like
probably after
old
school.
photos
Look,
and shit.
look,
You think
it
that they
doesn't.
have fucking Winkle family history in the school library,
Okay,
dude?
okay, maybe not. And of course, Lorena obviously brings a book from her home. Yeah, sure.
Dude,
But this is just after school. This is just after school.
they're going back to the school. We've already established that Sharky's is the cafeteria to the school. So they go home, they get all this shit from like up in their attic or in their basement, and they come back. The book props department in this episode, the budget's out of control. Okay, it's like a Carrot Top opening act right here. So everyone talks about, Tiffany is upset because she has a very common last name, Smith and Jones. Lorena, of course, has grandiose ideas about where she's from, and then Tony is in the back there where he can't find anything. He's thumbing through the one Black history book, 1 page, 2 page. He's like, I can't get past slavery. It's basically in the prologue to this book.
Yeah, I guess that does kind of concern me that they wouldn't even
There's nothing else.
His family may not have pictures from the very beginning of their story as a family in America, but they would have like at least pictures and stuff of the last couple generations.
You think?
You know what I
Yes.
mean? Like that are just, people and who were not born into slavery or brought over here. So I didn't understand why everyone else had like books from their houses and he was the one looking at just a book from the library.
Sure. I mean, you poo-poo Saved by the Bell, right? You're not a big fan of it, right?
No.
Okay, well, it should be mentioned, and I think I said last week, this exact same plot happened in Saved by the Bell. Exact same plot. Lisa couldn't find anything past slavery. And then Jessie found out that her family owned slaves, and she was apologetic to
Yee.
Lisa the entire time. But then Zach found out that he had Native American ancestry, and that is why he came out in
Oh,
full Native American garb and had to apologize in like
yeah, yeah.
2014 for this travesty. So I don't know why this wasn't cut. I don't know why they decided to do this like 2 years, 3 years later after the Saved by the Bell had done it, but there it is. And the whole gang is weirdly really all about this homework and this presentation. Like they're excited to do this.
Because everyone wants to learn about their roots.
I know. I remember reports that I had to do where I had to talk to like an old person basically about what was it like during World War II, or like Korea. But I it seems like they have days to do this, and it is consuming everything. They do not have other classes. They don't have a band. They don't have babysitting. They have no yard work to do. It is just this 24/7.
I mean, again, we can't tell how much time has elapsed because time doesn't pass the same in this reality as it does in our reality. But I would think this is a it's not to say they don't have other homework or stuff, but this is like, the main thing that's bothering them. I'd say it's a week. It's like a week.
That's still not a lot of time.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's I don't know. A week seems appropriate.
What about Judy? What do you think her background is? Why don't we get to see her presentation?
I'm sure it's Norwegian, European white. That's what it is. I'm sure of it.
She's a boat builder. Got it.
Yeah. She's wearing clogs in the episode. Okay. So next scene is after Tony kind of voices his frustration that he can't find anything about his family's history past slavery. The next scene is them in the classroom again, and Tony's pretty depressed about it.
Way depressed.
He's almost.
Tony just found out that slavery existed.
Well, it does kind of seem that way, yeah. But it was like a sobering moment. There was something Courtney said to that effect, where she was like, "This was after she said, 'Oh no, not the life episode.'" She goes, "Oh no, not the reality settling in." I don't know. It was hilarious. It was perfect. But yeah, that is what that yeah. I guess you really did. But he's sitting there with what's his name, Jake, and
zero help in this situation.
Well, I mean, come on. Number one, not shocked, and number two, that's kind of accurate. That's kind of accurate, in real life. If somebody was trying to explain this, what that would feel like to a European white. That's what it is. Oh, geez, sorry. You want to go play something later after school?
Jake is definitely listening at this point, which is good because later he says probably the most insensitive thing somebody could say with this situation. As a white guy, you got to just step back and be like, this is not my, what is it? Not my monkeys, not my circus kind of thing.
Yeah.
Like, I'm stepping out. I'm just going to listen here. But since we don't know what time is this the next day? I know.
It has to be because he's wearing a different shirt.
Okay.
They're wearing different clothes.
So it's the next day and they're already giving presentations.
Okay, yeah. So No. They're not already giving presentations. Lorena decides to come up and tell about this exciting new discovery she made in researching her family tree.
Right.
Because she's connected to some very famous Latin American person, and she keeps listing all these things that they've done, and nobody cares. This is also the scene where we see the other black student who's in the front row facing the camera. I don't know why she isn't in that first scene, but and I was kind of hoping there was going to be some kind of tie into that. Maybe they could.
I don't think
bond
she was
about their experience.
I do not think she was able to do her presentation because Tony checked out the one Black History book that is at that library. So you're right. There could have been some camaraderie there, but no. Tony's just being butthurt about this whole thing, which I understand this must be devastating, but like Jake is of no help, and then everybody being boastful about like what they found out. That was also a kick in the dick.
That's the problem, because it's like he feels inferior because his history isn't as ridiculous as any of these other people's histories. But anyway, so Lorena, this is where Lorena reveals that she's related to Mary Lopez.
So it is not the same universe. We have seen with Stingray that is the same character in Saved by the Bell, the college years, and this. So that is now incongruent canon, and I don't like it, and we're gonna have to do some more research on it. I will say around this time there's a cameo here from a very early Jamie Kennedy. I don't know if you knew that.
No way. Where?
So he is in the background. I don't think he has a speaking line, but he's in like at the 13-minute mark or something. Maybe it's a 9-minute mark. It's in all the comments. Every people are talking, but his character name in this is Sea Kelp. So I'm assuming, I think he's one of the surfers or something.
No, I was gonna say he has to be one of the surfers.
Okay, so
that makes sense. Well, we'll keep an eye out when we get there.
I guess he does have a line when that blessing of the board scene is.
You could say that this made his career. Like,
does everybody hate him now?
You could say that this made his career. Anyways,
this and then Malibu's Most Wanted. Yes.
Lorena goes up and tells about her fascinating relatives, and then Sam gets up and tells an equally elaborate story about how great her ancestors were, how cool her family tree is. And somehow she brought a gong. Like, nobody saw her bringing a full adult human-sized gong into the classroom.
So this is not the presentation. You're just saying that they're excited.
They're just bragging. They're just bragging about the cool shit that their family got into.
It has to be a presentation because she has a fucking gong.
It's not.
Okay, I don't believe it. The next scene. Speaking of unbelievable things, we got a room 237 situation here, and I need you to strap in, James. Okay?
Oh yeah, let's hear it.
Okay, they had just come from this. Wait, no, this is definitely okay. Sorry. So we see them. The classroom ends. Sam just gives her speech. The next scene we see, they are coming from the right in the hallway, and Tiff is saying, "Sam, I can't believe your family comes from such a great lineage. That's amazing." Where the way that they're walking is to the classroom that they were just in. Because you see it the next scene, when they're looking out, you can see where they sit at the benches by the lockers.
Can you though?
Yes, you definitely can.
Can you? I'm scrubbing it right now, and that could be any cozy of a high school hallway.
No,
it could be just around the corner from where we are right now.
You see that hallway as well. So I'm saying they're in some kind
but
of...
maybe they went to the bathroom after class.
They're in some kind of House of Leaves, Minotaur, getting chased loop through hell.
Yeah, I mean, certainly, this show is hell. Yeah, for sure. So
the geometry in this is out of control. Mark has one line around this time, and it's very obvious that do not know what to do with Mark. So this is where that B plot is like rears its ugly head once again. Mark is still pining after this girl. Sly tells him that they're related to Casanova, right?
Yeah.
I don't love the line. That's a terrible way to put it. Sly has a line here that is memorable, to say the least. Sly is like, we come from a long line of the greatest lover ever. And he points to Jody and he's like, go claim that. It's rightfully yours. So,
yeesh.
In an episode stacked with like inappropriate decoration, basically, we got to go in with that. Like, Sly is red pilling Mark right now.
Yeah. It's not a good look. It didn't age well.
So is this the next day after that, James?
I guess we'd have to go on clothing, and they're all wearing different clothing.
Okay, so day 3, full-on presentations. Okay, the gong was not even a part of the real presentations, as James is proclaiming.
Yeah, those are just exciting discoveries.
James, what class is this though? What do you think this is, a history class?
Social studies, history, maybe something like that.
You had to do something of this ilk?
at some point, I'm sure I had to do a family tree. I don't know if it was in a high school civics class, but I'm sure I had to do that.
I would.
I remember one class. I remember one class where like we could write a long paper, or we could build. We could write a long paper about prairie life, or we could build a model wagon. And then me and my friend and his dad, who was a movie set builder, built like a scale model wagon that we rode.
Nepo baby, hanger on. That's what
hey,
you
we
are.
built that wagon. We built that wagon.
So it was like make up some shit about living on the prairie because
write a
you
report,
played the Oregon Trail.
Write a report, or build a model
Conestoga wagon.
Yeah,
that's
yeah. It was a simpler life, dude. Nebraska's a simpler life.
This
you don't
is
understand. Have you ever gone to a place and collected cow patties? Have you ever done that? Have you even lived unless you've done that?
Dude, we can't go with more of these history about like you shucking corn.
Yeah, all right, all right, all right.
With Huck Finn.
All right, enough of my family tree, okay? I'm sure at some point when I lived in Nebraska, I had to do a goddamn report where I had to make a family tree, okay? So yes. I don't know what class it is, but we're never going to see it again. So it doesn't matter.
And we're not going to know anything. None of this is going to carry over. We see Jake is going to give a presentation. Did you know Jake Summers? Summers is a Czechoslovakian name. That's crazy. There's the silly gag here where he brings in some food, and of course it smells terrible.
Which I found also to be insensitive.
We're scared of foreign food. Bunch of xenophobes in this class.
Yeah, I found it to be pretty insensitive.
Did you know what was coming after that when they're like, Tony's up next?
Did not.
Did your wife know what was coming?
Did not. She did not, but she laughed her ass off because it's hilarious.
Where did Tony get this getup? Where did he go to get this?
Well, I mean, I'm sure there are African stores. I'm sure there are a ton of African stores in New York. I'm sure there's a ton of African stores in LA.
Yeah, I guess it's just a timeline thing, and like he used all his Sharkey's tip money for this outfit.
It's a full getup with a staff, which is pretty sick. So he comes in and says
Tony over here.
That what?
Nefertoni.
Wow. That's pretty good. He comes in and he says he's a descendant of a very famous king from Africa. Yes. And the crowd goes wild. Everyone loves it. They love his outfit. They love his story. And they're really jazzed that they have proper royal lineage to call their friend in their classroom.
They are stacked with white guilt, and they clap for him as soon as he walks in.
It's pretty thick, but you know who didn't fall for it? Jake Summers.
Yeah, that racist check.
Just relax here because I have to pull these screenshots up. There's going to be a series of screenshots I'm going to pull up of Jake Summers' face at certain points.
Oh, this is one. Not having it.
He's not having it.
That is a.
And then,
are you sure that's from that show? Because it looks like a deleted scene from American History X that you just showed.
No, 100%. It is from the show. It's from the episode, and
wow.
There's another one too. After everyone runs away from how bad his food supposedly smells, that I want to share is really fun. But this creates now a C plot. Because Jake is very upset with Tony.
Yeah.
About Tony lying.
Overly, and he's the only one that knows, maybe. So, but he's very invested in Tony. So we know at this point Tony is lying because he is embarrassed about his past, or he feels inferior because everybody else has something to kind of showcase. But Jake is not having it.
He's not having it from the get-go. He's very upset. He's very upset with Tony. And I guess from Tony's perspective, it's like, what does this matter? This is a little white lie. No one's going to get hurt. And, I can save some of my pride here. And then it spirals out of control. So because people know or think that Tony is descendant of royalty, African royalty, they start treating him like a king and addressing him like a king. The next scene, they're in the hallway and the football players come over and ask him if they can carry him to his next class. And then there's a very, very, I will say, a very good exchange of punny
Okay.
language between. Hang on one second. Oh yes, Jake comes over and says, "Might I have audience with His Majesty before he gets carried away?" Just as
Oh,
the
that's
football
some good.
players were
I
going to carry.
didn't
That
notice
was
the
really good.
the word play, but I
Yeah,
did
that was.
like the Majesty part. That is why I'm Your Majesty Tony today. This is just something that football players will do. They will carry you to class if you do
If
have
you're
royal
related to
blood.
royalty, yeah,
Yes.
yeah,
Can
So
I
any, go
can I
ahead,
have
go ahead,
some
yeah,
devil's advocate here?
go ahead.
All right.
Let's hear it.
Obviously you shouldn't lie in your presentation, but like just from the teacher's perspective, like Tony obviously did a lot of research on whatever character this was. Just because his family's not related to them or he can't prove that he's related to them, I honestly think Tony like did the work. He he should get credit for this grade. Like I understand there's a moral implication here, but it doesn't happen, but normally you get failed out of something like this because, you broke this ethics code. I'm just saying he did the work. He did the presentation. He nailed it. What do you think? Am I wrong? Am I off base
I
here?
think this whole school is pass or fail, and he passes.
Okay.
They don't care. This, like, they just want live bodies in the seats.
Okay. So
That's what I feel about it. I agree with you. He did do the work in both scenarios, and he does the right thing by coming forward. But I think he passed. I don't even think the teacher cared.
okay.
The teacher would have been like, "Oh, well, you just took the slot from somebody else who was going to present." So, but anyway, so they're in the hallway, and Jake says, "Hey, man, what the fuck? Why'd you lie about this?" And Tony's like, "It's not a big deal. It's not going to hurt anybody." And then they basically anoint him prom king for life. And
we don't know what grade he's in, so
it
that could be a long time.
it could be. I mean, how long though? 4 years. The next scene, and this is of course where we're probably going to get Jamie Kennedy, is
Sharkies. We're
Sharky's. Yeah,
Of
yeah,
course
yeah.
we are.
And I can't remember the exchange between Sly and Mark, but I guess this is where Mark starts to become.
He has slicked back his hair and become a fuck boy, but nobody's buying it. He supposedly has like 4 dates over the next day or something because of this newfound confidence.
He made all those up. Yeah,
nobody's
that's for
buying
sure.
that.
No.
And then Tony enters, and there's this empty ass space in the middle of Sharky's. And I'm like, what's gonna go on? And he anoints the boards or something. Everybody like loves it when he comes in, and there's just some silly gags here. I did think about this part. Like Tony's doing like an evangelical Baptist preacher situation here, and he's doing a great job. He's a great character actor. Like he does some funny comedic physical comedy shit. But if my dad saw that, if my dad saw me watching this part, he would make me turn this off because it seems like it's making fun of
Religion.
sermonizing.
Yes. Yeah, sure. And that's actually, it's not the first time they've had him do that on this show. They've had him
He's good
do
at
that. And, I mean, he does nail it, but it is kind of tropey.
Mhm.
So, anyways, he does this ceremony on that is legit Jamie Kennedy. I can even tell on the 480 fucking
looks like.
compression rate on
up.
this video, but that's for sure. So yeah, Jamie Kennedy's entire career, Malibu's Most Wanted makes so much more sense now.
Okay, good. This is the part that I was talking about earlier where Jake goes from attentive listener
this is
out of control. I'm white splaining what's going on.
This is way too far.
In a very silly notion, he goes up to Tony and he's like, "What are you doing? People are going to find out you're not. What are you doing? You're lying." And Tony is like, "I don't. I'd rather do this basically." And then Jake says,
Better a
to be a slave
than a liar. Yeah.
And then Tony blurts out that he lied about this and everyone hears him. Very convenient, but like, damn, Jake, like,
yeah,
you zip your mouth, sir.
It's pretty brutal. Yeah.
Did Courtney have anything to say about this part?
Yeah, she said, "Geez, he didn't have to go that hard." Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Yeah. So then of course they're back at the rehearsal space. We almost got a band practice. but we didn't
I
get
heard
full
a
band
note on the
practice.
guitar when Jake was holding it. That
You
is
know.
that is all we got. That is a terrible tease. We're at the loft now, so this is the only other set piece for this episode. And for some reason, Sly says something here that I had no idea what to make of it. He said, "Tony, is this a mafia thing?" And then he comes up with this whole backstory.
Dude, that was
What?
hilarious. That
No,
was
that was like
hilarious.
cutting room floor material.
That was
and
hilarious. Hilarious. In fact, one of the only things that Courtney genuinely laughed at in this entire episode.
Courtney had an LPE and it was this?
No, it was when he gives him the FBI cover name, Sidney Gottlieb or something.
Leibowitz or something.
Leibowitz, yeah,
very
yeah,
Jewish,
yeah. Yeah, Sidney Gottlieb's from MK Ultra, so Sidney Leibowitz is definitely.
But that mafia joke, it has an epilogue. It comes back later, and I'm like,
it's fucking hilarious. It's
okay.
hilarious, Pete. You just hate fun. If you didn't like that,
you want to talk about
fun,
James? Let's talk about this dream sequence that we knew what was happening.
Oh no! Oh yeah,
so we have Sharky's as a set piece, obviously, but I don't know how. Everybody confronts Tony. Tony's upset. He goes to bed at night. He has a dream.
I just love how we go from the rehearsal space, him trying to explain his position to everyone, and then he's in his bed, and the setup shot on the bed is just completely pointless. It could have just been like a thing that he thought about after the conversation. Yeah. I don't know. It didn't have
it didn't have the pink hue like we normally get with a dream. It's the most vivid linear dream that you can ever imagine. He meets his relative, his great grandfather, who is picking cotton.
Within a second of me seeing him laying in the bed, I knew we were going to meet the slave relative.
I knew that,
in a
but
dream
did
state.
you know? Because I'm trying to. We meet his great grandfather picking cotton
in the middle of Sharkey's. Yeah.
Did you know that part?
Yes, I 100% knew that we were not only going to see. We weren't going to
get an outside shot, but in Sharkey's.
I knew. What is his reality?
What
it would have been the classroom or Sharkey's. Yield?
How are those seeds going to germinate next year on hardwood floor?
I don't know. This scene was just rough.
Was it awkward for you sitting there with?
No, not at all. Courtney and I were laughing our asses off at how ridiculous this was. This was so bad. It was like all the tropes. Like somebody was just sitting in a boardroom like, how do we hit every single trope on the way down to the ground with this one?
They're hitting every single branch of the family tree on the way down.
That's exactly what I'm saying.
It's so anyway, he finds out his great-grandfather, even though wasn't a king, was a very honorable, noble person. And was like Fast and Furious was all about family. And that's what's important about this. That's what you're supposed to really learn through a family history report, apparently. But damn, even back then, this seems kind of tasteless, doesn't it?
It's super tasteless. And again, in this show where there is very little diversity to begin with, I don't know. There's even a point where he's talking to his great grandfather, and he's like, his great grandfather's like, "You're not ashamed, are you?" And he's like, "Yeah, I am. I'm ashamed." It's like I don't know. It's like it's making it seem as if this might be the first time he's ever had to reconcile about his family's history and race relations in this country, and that just is not true.
I mean, it's definitely not, because we've seen another episode where Tony has to deal with racism, and poor Tony is easily the best actor on this show. Keeps getting thrown these fucking stereotypical plot lines, because there's one coming up in a later season where he deals with gang violence, because of course it's Tony that has to deal with gang violence, whereas Jake purports himself to be in an actual motorcycle gang.
But wouldn't. I don't see Jake ever committing a crime.
I mean, he got close when he talked about what you should do being a slave. So,
Yeah, he really needs to go to jail for that, for sure. Yeah,
I think we're at the presentations now, right?
it's that scene was I mean, I just have to say this. That scene was jaw-droppingly dumb. That scene, like, I knew it was going to happen, and Courtney and I were just laughing at how delightfully out of touch the whole
tone
thing
deaf.
was.
I think so.
Yeah.
But that's what you would expect from these writers, because it's the same writers that put Zach in full on Indian Native American garb. But so now we're back at the classroom, and I guess we're finishing up these presentations. And
wait.
Did I miss something?
Yeah,
Is there another Jake pose I need to see?
This isn't a Jake pose. This is a Tony pose. But this shot, after he wakes up from the dream in deep contemplation, I was like, God, Jesus Christ. You
can see the African colors behind him.
I didn't used to hate the dream sequences, but the more that we watch them, the more that I hate them.
I can't believe you ever liked them. They are all
There's
dog
a couple
shit.
that have been funny, but I also haven't been subjected to them for 2 seasons.
There was some really interesting YouTube comments on this episode. Like, some were just like, it's my favorite episode. This really taught me about race, kind of thing. And I'm like, damn. But one of them was like, I've never liked this episode. I always skip past it. I've never liked watching about family history in any TV show. And I'm like,
yeah,
whoa, who hurt you? But then somebody responded to that and said, like, it's better than the Old West episode. That is awful. And I'm like, did I write this?
You did. And then you realized it was a comment that you had left on the video a long time ago. So, right, we're back in the classroom, and Tiffany's giving her boring-ass fucking presentation on her dumbass Smith Jones background. It's boring. She's got a huge map. It's really long. Everyone in the class is bored. She's brimming with rage. Like, she's suppressing so much rage right now at her self-hatred. It's like reaching an all-time high. She's going to snap. At some point, she's going to snap.
And you know what? There's nobody... We don't even know who she's related to, so we don't even know if this is nature or nurture.
And to be honest, nobody cares, and she knows it. She knows it that nobody cares.
It's just just a one-trick joke throughout the whole episode that she has a common
throughout
name.
the whole fucking series. Anyway, so the next people to give their presentation, Jamie Kennedy is also in this scene, just so you know.
Okay. You mean Sea Kelp?
Yeah, Sea Kelp is sitting next to Sly. Sly and Mark get up to give their presentation, and Mark has become full Euro douche. He's become full Euro douche, and he's convinced
he's going to that Eiffel 65 concert, and he's really psyched for it.
Exactly, and he's like, Judy's in the front row, and he's like putting the moves on Judy.
Mm-hmm.
But then Sly... This was hilarious.
Weird.
I thought this was hilarious.
You like this part? Wow.
Yeah,
okay.
I thought this was fun. Sly gets up there and basically is like... we're liars. Our family is liars. And he goes through a bunch of times in the past.
How did he find that out? Like, was that in a folklore book?
No. It's just he knows his family's a piece of shit.
That's just anecdotal.
He's used to it now. He's like, yeah, we're lying. We're liars.
Okay.
But
I want to say bibliography there, but okay.
He comes up with some really hilarious people. Giovanni Wincoloni.
You wrote these down.
That was fun. Michelangelo. No. What's the next one? Pope Winkolo.
So
what
this is Sly's an unreliable narrator, right? Because everything he's saying is bullshit. Is that the joke?
Pope Luigi Winklin. Yes, exactly. That's the whole point of the thing. He could be making all of this up. Like, none of this could be real. So does Sly get a
pass or fail on this presentation then?
They certainly fail. They didn't even have any visual aids. And
Mark looking like a douche is a visual aid. Believe it or not.
It's not. It actually hurt their grade.
So has Mark gotten laid like 5 times the last day?
Mark has never been laid. Debatably never will be laid.
Okay.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
It's 100%. Nobody dresses like that if they've been laid. Okay, come on. Everyone knows that. Anyways, so he lies to Mark. It's revealed that he lied to Mark about them being related to Casanova. And Mark is like weirdly pissed because Judy is like, I can't trust anything you say. You're a liar, and I don't want to be your girlfriend. So he starts to chase Sly, and then we get a callback to the mafia joke. which was great. Again,
Which you
fucking
love.
hilarious.
Okay.
It was hilarious. I love that Sly thought of that, because not only is it completely out of touch, like completely not even putting the dots together, it's just how he goes about it. And like, it's a long bit. It's not a simple,
it is
like,
a
it's a
long
good
walk
minute and a half.
there.
And I just think that's hilarious that they left that in there. Like, that's what they were going to use to try and cut the tension.
This is a heavy episode. We needed the comedic relief that was the Winkle twins. So this is where also Tony wants to apologize to the class, and the teacher's like, yeah, go right ahead. And then he talks about what his family actually did. But like, my question is, does he have to cite his source as his dream? Like, where did he get this information outside of like, your REM sleep?
Yeah, that is a good question. Because we still didn't see him at any point with a family photo album.
That's why I was saying
sure
he should just get graded on the bullshit presentation he already did, because that was a lot more well put together.
Yeah, I mean, he clearly did the work. I mean, regardless, he kind of did double. But there's one last thing I need to find in here, and it's the stupid fucking face that Jake makes.
I love these stupid faces you're finding.
As soon as Tony gives this like really heartfelt apology, explaining his position, and really seeking forgiveness from his classmates and from his teacher, we get a fucking cut to Jake. God damn it. We get a cut of Jake looking like a fucking idiot.
He did the thumbs up too.
Look at him looking like a fucking idiot. That is fucking ridiculous. Having
he's
him
giving his white blessing on this presentation.
It's very strange. It's very strange, and again, completely out of touch.
Well, it's better to be a slave than a liar. That's what I always say.
Jake did say that. Yeah, Jake did say that. Not me. Jake said that. Yeah. So all right. Okay. No music. So how do we do the awards this time?
Well, there's no awards. I don't want to be in a band with any of these people. There was only one other YouTube comment that stuck out from 12 days ago. 12 days, less than a fortnight. Somebody wrote, Matt and Samantha made good couple. Matt and Samantha. Matt and Samantha have never been a couple. They only shared the few episodes together. So, wow, that's it. People really enjoyed the racial makeup of this episode, and maybe moving on, everybody will be a little more sensitive to everybody's culture. What do you think about that?
I don't think that's going to happen, unfortunately.
I tend to agree.
This show probably didn't help. I'm going to be completely honest with you. And Courtney, again, just wanted to relay how bad she thought this episode was, how completely out of touch this episode was, and how they figured out where they needed to land, and then they completely missed the landing.
Is it weird this didn't get any NAACP awards?
Is this weird that it didn't win a Daytime Emmy? Is this weird that it didn't EGOT?
I'm just asking questions.
No, it's not. It's not at all, because it's terrible. It was a terrible. I just wonder, like, from the person who was playing that character, what their thoughts were about this. I would be really interested.
His ancestor?
No.
Or you Tony?
No. Who's the actor that plays Tony?
William Jones.
I'd be interested in his perspective on what this was like.
Well, if he'd ever get back to us, I would love to ask him about this episode.
I'm sure he won't, and understandably so. Yeah, I would be really interested to just to understand what that must have been like. That must have been crazy. And if this is what the episode is like, we can just assume that all the other insensitivities that were much more apparent in the 90s were on full display during the making of this episode.
Even Shakespeare got to get paid. I mean, he took a dog shit script and he did not phone it in. He gave it his all, and like that's what Tony does, and that is the only positive thing I can really say about this episode. Um, Even Jake seemed kind of like on autopilot in this episode, but Tony brought it, you know. Um, well,
Yeah,
so we have
I'll definitely give him that. He did do his best.
no awards to give out. But do you want to guess the episode next week? I think this is kind of I think this is kind of a layup, since you're a big sport man.
Yeah, yeah. Let's hear. What's the title?
Well, this is the 12th episode of the 3rd season, and it's called Harley and the Marlboro Man.
Somebody's smoking.
You got to be more specific.
Somebody's addicted to cigarettes. It's Tiffany. She's bottling so much rage.
That's your guess?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, as we know, there's a lot of these titles that have to do with actual old movies that nobody has seen. So Harley and the Marlboro Man is actually a movie with what's his name? What's the guy
Gary
from
Busey? Yeah, Gary
with
Busey.
the wrestler? What's his name?
Oh,
Brain farting right now.
Hulk Hogan.
No, not the rest of the movie. The movie, The Wrestler.
Mickey
Rourke. Mickey
Rourke. Yeah.
Mickey Rourke's in it, and it. So can you bring up the?
Are we talking old Mickey Rourke? Or are we talking new?
Can you bring up the photo, the cover of Harley Davidson and the Marlboro Man? Because every time I see it, it looks like French Stewart from Third Rock from the Sun, and from here to eternity and perpetuity, I will think that he is in that film. But it's Mickey Rourke. For some reason, this show thinks that any kid would understand that reference. But while you look that up, I'm going to tell you what actually happens.
When did that movie come out?
Early 90s, I want to say. Yes. Yes. Does that not look like French Stewart?
Now. Look at him now.
Oh, yeah, he looks a little rough now.
Look at him
anyway,
now.
The plot is much to the concern of his friends, especially Lorena. Jake takes up smoking to emulate his idol, Uncle Frank. Meanwhile, the rest of the gang finds money on the beach and contemplate what to do with it.
Steal it.
Do you know what that fucking means? No, each person's gonna have their own fucking dream sequence about what they're gonna do with the money. They're not gonna have a band practice. Fuck. Anyway, that's next week here on Surf Dudes with
When
Attitude.
are we gonna start watching Severance? I hear they play more music in Severance. We should watch.
There's like a full-on rehearsal scene. It's crazy. James, would you recommend this episode to somebody that has never seen the show?
No.
Okay.
No, I certainly wouldn't. I would recommend it to anyone that wants to hate what they're watching.
Okay. I love that. If anybody is watching along with us, thank you. You're doing the Lord's work. It makes it so much easier for us. Thank you for listening. Please like and subscribe. TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, even Facebook. We'll be back next week with another very special episode. This is a smoking episode that we're gonna have to fucking sit through. Fuck.
It's just fucking PSA after PSA. I don't know, man.
They're
really getting preachy in this season. I don't like it.
This makes me miss like Winkle Wick's World. You know, like that's a zany episode.
Oh,
I hated it, but I would rather that than this.
Isn't that fun that now all of a sudden you're pining for the yesteryear of Winklewoss World or whatever the hell that shit is?
Anyway, James, it was really nice to see you again. I'm glad you made it back from Nebraska. George will be back with us next week here on Surf Dudes with Attitude. Thank you everyone for listening. Please follow along. Keep up with the journey. We are over the mountain. We're getting to the end of the series. We're really excited. Thank you again. This is Pete from New York City. Vavoom.
Vavoom.
This has been a Waning Moon production.